Joseph Parton oversees recruitment for the Oxford Executive Diploma in Global Business, a part-time program designed for leaders, executives, and entrepreneurs across the world, looking to maximize their impact on a global stage. Joe has the privilege of recruiting diverse and experienced cohorts onto the program and is excited to share this opportunity with the ICED network. And Joe is going to be talking today about introduction to global business, maximizing the impact on a global stage. Joe, the stage is yours now, and thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Patricia, for the network. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Right. I'm going to share my own slides, if you don't mind. So can you see this?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Brilliant. Hello, everyone. Greetings from a very sunny Oxford today. It's wonderful to connect with all of you. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to briefly introduce an exciting program offered by the Side Business School. I'm grateful as well for that kind introduction. As the introduction said, it is a real privilege to recruit cohorts for this wonderful university, this wonderful business school. And we have identified this network as containing many people who would benefit from this program. As it says there, maximizing your impact on a global scale. As my role as business development executive, I'm just going to provide a very brief introduction to this program, the Diploma in Global Business. Hopefully for some of you, this might be an opportunity for you to continue the impact that you're having, or even realize a fresh impact in your sphere, in your country, in your sector. So the program in question is the Oxford Executive Diploma in Global Business. This is one of 5 part-time in-person programs that is offered at the Side Business School. For those that aren't aware, the Side Business School is actually a constituent part of the University of Oxford. It is the largest department of the Social Sciences Division, and in itself is 25 years old. In addition to the MBA, the Executive MBA, we also offer executive diplomas, as you can see here, part-time in-person, involving 4 modules in Oxford. The rest of the program can be completed online. Although they're part-time, they're taught at a master's level 7, and we have 1 intake per year, aligning with the calendar years, where instead of most programs which align with academic years, this is a calendar year. So the next program is starting 24th of January, and applications are open. And on the final slide, I'll put my details. If this is something that you're interested in, then I would encourage you to get in touch with me and arrange a consultation. So what would this program look like for you? Well, here's a summary of the year. You can see in each circle the dates of the modules where you would attend. I'm going to focus on each individual module. In particular, module 3, I think, would be very relevant to the members on the call. After completing those modules, that takes you up to October, and then you complete a final integrative assignment. The idea with that final assignment is that you identify a challenge, an opportunity, or an issue relating to what the diploma has covered, and write an assignment about how you will take the diploma learnings forward. And that could be into your role, or on a big scale into your sector, into your country. And then upon successful completion, we would be very excited to invite you back to Oxford to graduate, to become an Oxonian, a lifelong member of this famous institution. So to briefly run through what the program covers, this is a diploma for business leaders that could be in the private sector, but also in the government and public sector. And we have good representation from both. The program starts looking at global strategy and understanding critical trends in global business, factors underlying these trends, and then evaluating opportunities and risks of international expansion in a globalized world. You'll then look at risk and reputation. I'm sure this is a theme for many of you in the work that you do. Situations of high organizational risk, managing international challenges, foreign direct investment strategies, and rules of engagement at national and local levels will all be covered at this module. Module 3, I think, is one that will be most relevant to most people on the call. It looks at the relationship between corporations, states, and NGOs. And the focus of the module is for students to gain a deeper understanding of the political complexity of global management, perhaps even how businesses can act as rulers of the game, and actually who has the power in some circumstances. Is it businesses or is it the state? And how can you manage and mitigate that? So a particularly relevant module. Perhaps also many of you on the call would be living and working in somewhere you would describe as an emerging market. And the world's emerging economies are a magnet for foreign investment, but can be difficult places with which to do business because some of these states are in a constant state of flux. So lots of opportunities, but lots of challenges as well. So this diploma finishes by offering a framework for understanding the rapidly changing business context of these emerging markets and how to do business within them and with them. So let me take a moment to talk about the type of student we see on these diplomas as you consider whether to join this yourself. Our projected class size is around 40 students, maybe just over. The average age is 42, but really what's more important than age is years of experience. And the average year's work experience or professional experience is between 10 to 15 years. So I would worry less about age and more about the years of cumulative work experience. It's very diverse. You'll notice there 21 nationalities and 18 employment sectors are represented. But actually, the enrollment figures for 2024 have already exceeded both of those. I'm also happy to say that the average 34% female students has been exceeded. We're currently operating over 40% of next year's class are female. We hope that increases as well. So a very broad and diverse perspective in every class which you will join. And here's an indication of the sort of roles and the sorts of companies that are represented. You'll notice banks, big multinationals, and also some public NGO companies as well. So the representation in this class is not only for people working in the private sector, but also for those working in the public sector, in government, in diplomacy as well. We'll find this course relevant. I've highlighted the profiles of 2 former students from the public sector who have shared their experience of this program. Hopefully their experience aligns with what you would want to achieve from this program. And so let me share them with you. The first is a student in our current class, Tobias, who is a senior policy advisor for the Danish Agriculture and Food Council. In essence, he represents the interests of Danish farmers at the European Union, which is a very privileged position for him to be and a very challenging one as well. And he notes here that the outlook has shifted very much away from ideological and towards private sector and a corporate perspective. So if you, like Tobias, see yourself as a policymaker, an advisor in any form, and if you bridge the gap between private and public sectors, you need to broaden your range of global perspectives, and that's the kind of thing this diploma would do. There's a link at the bottom there. Tobias has offered a full interview, which you can read. And then to really highlight the diversity of profiles we get on this program, George is a Brazilian currently living in the Pacific nation of Timor-Leste and working as a legal advisor to the government there. And as you can see, he's worked with many multilateral agencies, developing policies, encouraging investment, economic growth. These are the sorts of people that you would meet, someone who is living and working in a country on the other side of the world to the country where they grew up, an amazing sense of diversity, but also an amazing amount of challenges. You'll notice George mentions the opportunities for continuing your development after this diploma. And I want to highlight the investment that this would be. The benefit is not only felt during the course, but also after the program as well. So I'm aware that that was an incredibly brief, and apologies if it felt a bit rushed, overview of this exciting program in Oxford. Applications are open for 2024, and it's quite a straightforward application process. First of all, we'd need to verify your academic achievements. Then we'd require a CV. We'll ask you to write 2 brief essay questions, provide at least 2 references, and meet an English language requirement. We do not need a GMAT or GRE score. Anyone who's applied or is thinking of applying to an MBA would be familiar with that requirement. If you're not familiar with that qualification, you don't need to be for this diploma, so don't worry too much about it. The application process is online. I would be delighted to support you through that process if you would like. But this the minimum requirements, I should say, a minimum of a degree level qualification, a minimum of 5 years relevant experience. 2 things I'm sure that everyone on this call actually meets and exceeds. So really, I'd like to thank you again for the opportunity to present this program. Here is my direct email address for anyone that wishes to arrange a consultation. If you think this is something that you would be interested in continuing your professional and personal development, I would be delighted to hear from you via email. You can also find me on LinkedIn, and I'm very happy for the network giving me this opportunity. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joseph. I have a quick question.
Of course.
If somebody has an...
Sorry, I think we lost connection there.
You lost her there.
Oh, you lost... can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better now.
Yeah. What I said was, if somebody has an MBA, what's the difference between the person who has the MBA and this global business diploma? Can they also, I know it's an executive education, can they also go on this one as well? Or...
Thank you for the question. Very important one to distinguish between these programs. Yes, absolutely. Around 60% of diploma students will already have an MBA qualification. So having an MBA does certainly not disqualify you from attending this program. The difference is that an MBA or an executive MBA is a very broad program looking at every aspect of running a business and succeeding at business. This diploma focuses much more specifically on issues relating to operating in a globalized business context. And so what the MBA offered would have been much broader. This is a more specific and targeted approach. The MBA is full-time, meaning that often you have to step away from your career to complete it, whereas this is part-time, which means that you can complete this alongside your existing professional commitments. So that's another key distinction as well.
Okay, one more question. Will Said Business School be developing some form of a protocol diploma for the future? Because this is an area where a lot of people who already have an international relations degree or something on that level ask us for some form of certification, an executive program that gives you a diploma of some sort. Is this something you'll be thinking of for the future? Because this is a request, actually, not for Said to be thinking about it.
Yes. Speaking candidly, I am not operating at the senior ALF level to understand fully the development of programs, but absolutely I agree that this would be a very welcome addition to the executive education that we offer. You'll notice that there is a module dedicated to corporate diplomacy. And so it would make a lot of sense to add protocol either as part of an existing program or as its own program. So hopefully this is something in the near future that we start to offer.
Thank you. There's a quick question here. Somebody's saying, does this mean that if you don't have all these qualifications, you can't be admitted even when you have interest or passion to study there?
Okay, yeah, so thank you for that question. So I mentioned there's 2 selection criteria for this program. One is educated to degree level. The other is a minimum of 5 years work experience. There are instances where applicants have not been educated to degree level, but have amassed significant work experience since. And we understand there are several reasons why someone may not have gone through the more traditional degree and then work route, and you would still be welcome to apply. The reason, though, we have that requirement is because this is an academic program, and we need to understand that everyone who applies would be able to manage with the academic elements of this program. So if there's perhaps professional education qualifications that you gain during your career, and that means that you would.